Alright. We are here, we are back. Let's turn the volume down, attack. Alright. So, we have 4 games to go through to finish up this round of 2, so we can actually get our players on to the next round. Because they've got this lovely winter vacation, it would be nice if they could make some use out of it. Let's do a quick recap where we're at. What is going on? Yeah. So we can see we had a slightly larger bracket than we usually have. Instead of just having 16 players, we had 23. And we can see that the second round has been half decided. We've already got one matchup known for the round of 3, Poncho Mango versus Kitikaka. But we've got a couple others to check out. We got Stoic Rooster versus Kopiot. Also, hello Kopiot to the chat. And we got Left Hook versus Rohinjo. Do not call him Rhinox, but my brain wants to rearrange the letters to be that. We got Agent Cypher versus yours truly. Gonna be great. And we got Snowy Onion versus the Overpowered. Some excellent stuff coming up, but let's have a quick look at all these decks. We've got Kopiot and Stoic is going to be our first match, and then we'll just go down the list. This will be a Brome vs. Argyon, pretty good Lion-R duo. And then after that, we got Left Hook, Rohinjo, for some Man vs. Lizard. And we got me versus Agent Cypher. I've got a cool replace deck, and Agent Cypher has a lot of cards that have special balancing now. So as soon as Agent Cypher gets knocked out, there may be some balance changes. And we got Overpowered and Snowy Onion to finish things up with Rag Ditto. We'll see who the better Eggmar player is. The one that has a Singleton deck and Wanderer, or the one that's doing the Zoetic Charm thing. Yeah, we got some cool stuff. But let's take it from the top. Here we go. Kopiot versus Stoic Rooster. What can be said about these decks? Well, Kopiot's running a burn strat. We see Warlocks, we see Tempests, we see a lot of damage. We see a lot of removal options. It goes big, it heals big. It's got the one Dawn's Eye for a little bit of secret damage. Combos really nicely with the Regalias. And we have the Red Sinja to eat EMPs. Although, if we look over at Stoic's list, Stoic doesn't have any EMPs. So it's going to have to settle to eat these small fries. Notably, Stoic Rooster has no spells and is running Alabaster Titan. So Stoic is going to look to flood the board and then smash face with overstated dudes with unreasonable keywords. The Circle of Life will be decent at pinging, but the Aperion's Claim is what's really going to get Kopiot out of that if he falls behind. Gonna be some cool stuff here for sure. Fireworks are gonna fly. And there are so many spells in this Kopiot list, they have basically opposite approaches for playing Lion-R. It's great. Yes, indeed. With that said, let's go on to game number 1. 3, 2, 1. We're in it. Well, I didn't click on the square at the bottom left to make it go away. Let's do that. Alright. So here we have Kopiot going first with Brome. It's really nice to see Blood Tier Alchemists early, but not ideal, not perfect with these really high cost cards. So pitches them back, finds some good stuff. Stoic Rooster, on the other hand, is already got the Titan in hand. Usually when you're playing, you want to reduce, or you want to swap out the high cost cards, but not with this deck. So we're gonna see this Titan in hand all game for sure, because it's definitely the MVP as soon as he hits 7 mana. Funny thing, if you're playing Titan and your opponent doesn't challenge the mana at all and you're able to get all of it, you can actually Titan on turn 2 if you can play 2 minions and can grab all 3 tiles. Fortunately for Kopiot, he doesn't have to deal with that. It's just the classic Silverguard Knight, placed a little defensively so it can't get hit. Because otherwise it could get cleared with Lasting Judgment. Normally you would see this knight put a square forward, but there would actually be a punish for that. So really smart to have this placed back. And we got a Scintilla in the back row. Some healing insurance, really good sustain. Really annoying to get to, because without any spells, Stoic is going to have to run the map to chase this unit down. Opting not to play any of the BTAs or replace them, just having them as really good turn fillers. Anytime you have a leftover mana, you can just get one in. It's never too early for a Spelljammer. And I'm feeling that would be a really good play here. Brome is now in the lockdown, and cannot use his BBS once it refreshes, because Argion's in the way. Yeah, Spelljammer. Good positioning, so you can take the mana tile and potentially get Titan next turn. So Copia's going to want to stop that from happening, but that's hard because now there's two units that could take this mana tile, and there's a big unit that's going to take this top mana tile. So this is probably going to call for a Martyr Tom. Opts to save the Martyrdom. Gonna just Lasting Judgment it instead. Martyrdom is also good against the Titan itself or things that have been buffed. So it's probably too useful to replace. Yeah. For instance, Litigris or Magesworn. Absolute busters. Yeah, it is worth noting that stoicrooster is running 2 Magesworns, which will just turn off almost every spell in this deck, except for any of these big ones. Well, it'll turn off a couple of the small ones as well as the BBS, which will be pretty debilitating to lose a third to a quarter of your cards. So probably going to keep this in hand all game until a target shows up for it. Manages to sort of block the top tile. It's not going to be simple for Stoic to just go in there. Yeah, and we can see that a 1-2 conscript was created with no keywords. Doesn't have the fancy polearm and doesn't have a helmet. Ooh, speaking of Litigris, guess who shows up? Couple play options here, though. Dancing Blades isn't the worst. Arcanite Sentinel is pretty functional here. But Litigris is so good. You just gotta cast it, right? Oh, okay. We're gonna save it for later. This is a pretty decent play too, because by grabbing the mana tiles, you can get Dio out. And the Tombstone will be huge with this Alabaster Titan set of artifacts. Places it directly above Copia instead of placing it to the left to try to chase down the Scintilla, so I guess just accepting that the Scintilla lives. The Scintilla is asking to get hit by Dancing Blades, though, so gonna have to be careful playing around that. So Titan is not coming down for another 2 turns, so that's a bit of time to clear as many minions as possible. Circle of Life is not great when you're not healing from it. Sunbreaker doesn't do a whole lot. Sunstrike, this formation is anti-Sunstrike, pretty good. Perhaps hitting Dio and Argeon would be good. Yeah, because then you can heal off the damage from the Sentinel. Seems pretty good. And then you want to cast something else, because there is a Spelljammer on the board, and you're going to be drawing 2. And funnily enough, yeah, this Scintilla may have been more useful closer to the front as a brawler, being able to take out the Sentinel and the like. Okay, and the last pink for the jammer. Stoic Rooster, plenty of options. Inquisitor Kron is a pretty nice option. Mage Sworn's pretty rude. These are all beaters. So Roar on a Tombstone is a way to sort of build your own Iron Cliff. Pretty nice. The minion trade here was a little unexpected to me. I kind of imagined Stoic Rooster would want to have as much of a board as possible. And Copiate isn't running any holy MO. Oh wait, never mind. 3 holy MOs. Okay, that's a good thing to clear. Kron showed up with a frenzy, dude. Probably the weakest keyword he could get right now, but the 2-2 factory is on, and it threatens a double here in a second. Still could even skip doing the Alabaster Titan turn and just crank out more Kron stuff with a cat. Copiate is stuck and can only hit this. And that is a fantastic target for Circle of Life. So it seems like with that play, Copiate has kind of taken a bit of a lead, but it swings every turn. And Copiate's also locked down, so maybe it's not that much of a lead. How does he get out of it? This claim is going to be really nice to take care of whatever board shows up. And the spot removal here. Cannot find a second play though and burns a card. Doesn't want to use the BBS to put it on cooldown for the next turn. Maybe you can find some better use for it later. But it's a 7 mana turn for a Titan player. Does that mean he just wins? Because he can give himself Force Field for all of his units, +2 damage for his units, and Regalia for himself. Has a couple options. Not gonna go with Kron. Could do Mage Sworn plus Blood Tier, or could do something plus Roar. You generally don't want to just put damage on Brome, because you can see the kind of healing that Brome's got access to. So I think building the board is the priority over something like Litigris, attack, buff something, attack, and then attack with the general. Better play might be get a dude down. interesting. Keeps the Spelljammer on the bottom row, just shuffling it around a bit. Yeah, Titan turn. 12 damage straight up. This is pretty good placement. Oh, I gotta turn off tooltips so they stop blocking the sprites. But yeah, this placement plays around the claim, so there isn't a clear removal option, and it kind of sucks to throw your great removal option on a token unit, but that token unit is kicking your ass, so it kind of seems like you'll need to do something here. EMP, of course, solves a lot of stuff. Pretty nice draw. Takes care of these glaives, this bulwark, the arclight. Yeah, EMP fights Alabaster so well. Can even trade with it in combat. He's gonna have to watch out for his life total, though. It's below half. And there's another Titan in here, so that is another chunk of burst damage coming in. So now Stoic is going to be seeing if he can get lethal immediately. Although I'm only seeing 9 damage. Not quite enough. Even silenced. Titan's pretty big boy. So I can trade some minions. And yeah, Titan turns on the Tombstone again. Or at least lets that attack. Fortunately, we can see Kopiet's got EMP number 2. Which actually isn't fast enough. Four health. Kopiet, how do you get out of this? Do you martyrdom your own unit for a bit of a heal? It doesn't seem great when it could kill the Titan. Claim is okay. The artifacts are a huge threat, so EMP is tempting. But with 4 health, you're dead to any 2 hits. And this positioning is so rough, there's nowhere to run to. A heal 5 is pretty nice at this point, but not when everything is force fielded. And even if he were to take 2 steps left, take a diagonal step with the Golem, kill the Titan, drop another one of these EMPs, it's pretty close. That actually might work and buy him 1 more turn, but then Aurora might be lethal. Ugh. Yeah, better take the whole time bar to figure this turn out, because this is nuts. Like, force field here doesn't do anything with the Tempest. Oh, that's it. There's no out. Stoic Rooster takes the first game of the day. Congratulations. Stoic's so strong. What the heck? Let's take another look at game number 2. All right. Copiate versus Stoic Rooster, best of 3. Stoic is currently up 1. Match point. Copiate now fighting for his life. Copiate has a gigantic gauntlet spree. Yeah, that's super prestigious. Pretty nice. Garbage opening hand, though. You want to have at least something to do. These are all fine, but they're all similar costs, so you probably pitch... Yeah. Well, skipping your first turn isn't so bad for Brome, because he's such a beast in late game. We can actually see here, Stoic Rooster already sporting a trophy. It says that he won DGG Open #1 in November, but #1 happened before that. He actually won the second one. Bug report! And Copiate over here with the Gauntlet Winner trophy. So Scintilla played much closer this time. It's actually able to grab the mana tile and the like. And no Spelljammer to punish the slow start. So this could be a much stronger start for Copiate. Stoic's gonna be happy to have his Titan already this early. Pretty classic minion. Yeah, immediately punished. It's like the Scintilla needed to be placed forwards last game and backwards this game. And now there's this giant minion to take care of. That is too big to crunch with anything. And the mana isn't even meaningful. You basically need 2 Regalias to take it out. I guess you start by putting on 1 Regalia, and then you hope that the enemy isn't holding a Rust Crawler. Of course, we can see Stoic is ready for this matchup. Makes it a lot trickier. Maybe the Sunstrike gets replaced here. Okay, so Holy Immo actually does a good chunk of damage. Doesn't leave him susceptible to the Rust Crawler just owning him. Stoic is probably going to want to take this mana next turn for Titan then. And then for this turn... Diltis might be nice to get out. Could even roar it. Surely he doesn't play Dancing Blaze just to kill this, because that would be so far away. Yeah, Sentinel is a lot more reasonable. So there's some consideration there for dropping yet another unit, but gonna buff this Dancing Blade to be huge. Doesn't want to lose it yet though, wants it to have a force field. Copiate drawing some damage option. And is finally able to make Crestfallen with Provoke. And this is a really funny placement because this Dancing Blade can't get in here to do anything. Okay, so it's not a Titan turn. Or maybe it is a Titan. No, it's not. Gotta eat the Regalia. Stoic has developed pretty nasty looking board though. Give all these things +2 and a shield, and that's gonna be it. And doesn't have to play around to Perion's claim because that costs 7 and just 1 short here. Sunstrike doing some more work. Probably gonna just drop a Flame Blood just to have a unit out. Okay, this next turn is gonna be real nasty. Stoic might want to play safe, but he has a pretty incredible aggressive option here. I feel like hitting with this Dancing Blade is too good to not do. So it's probably shields up, hit for 8, and then hit for a bunch more, another 8. Might be concerned about how to play around at Holy Immolation. Right. Copiate's list actually features 3 Lucent Beams, so that could be surprise 12 damage. Okay. So Stoic minding his low health total, playing a little safer, but also extremely aggressively with this hit for 8. And playing around the claim this turn, now that Copiate possibly has access to it. So the money replaces to find that EMP, but it didn't show up. So with 7 mana, it could be a Scintilla Holy Immo, which does absolutely nothing. It could be a gigantic heal. Ooh, lasting judgments go through force fields. +3, -3. Yeah. I can just delete this. And then deal with the Regalia later. And then has an extra mana for a Sundrop Elixir. Or a dude. He's gonna need to find his EMP in like 1 turn though to get rid of all this nonsense. Copiate passing his turn with 15 hit points versus Stoic Rooster, who only has 12, but has a really strong board. And this suite of artifacts will keep him safe for now. Ooh, there could be a Haste Cat possibility here from Tigris. Or there's a small chance that the Broken Captive shows up, and we learn why he's called the Broken One. This is nearly lethal already. In fact, If he just gets the broken one, it's instant lethal. Okay, well, this is lethal next turn. Ooh. EMP no longer gets him out of this situation. Gonna need a Aperion's Claim to just delete these 3 minions. Doesn't have it in hand though. Good luck on the replace. And even if those 3 die, there are so many backup troops. Replaces and finds a way to kill himself. And does just that. And with that, Stoic Rooster advances to the next round. Congratulations, Stoic, on your 2-0 win. What a buster. He's on his way to getting his 2nd trophy. Condolences to Colpiet. You got matched against the nastiest. Brome. But hey, we got some other stuff coming up next. Next up is Left Hook with the cool pupper dog icon. It's so cute. Versus Rohinjo with a epic looking monochromatic picture. One thing that jumps out to me right away is Rohinjo is running Feralu, which is something that'll buff up, what, the EMP and these golems? There's actually quite a few golems to go with it, so Boulder Breacher will find some use here. And the Dawn's Eyes here are a little more confusing because there's no other artifacts for them to combo with. Left Hook, on the other hand, is here with Voth Smosh. It's going to be coming in with a bunch of Adamantian Claws and some Life Forces. Is not running the Saurian Finale. Oh, there it is. 2 of them. Excellent. That's basically Voth's ultimate. Mortarmaw is an interesting one. It's like a gun lizard, sort of. Only 2 Mecanter. Had to cut some slots. Yeah, let's see how lizards versus golems go. I'm gonna go into game number 1 of Left Hook versus Rohinjo of the DGG Open number 3, round 2, part 2, etc., etc. 3, 2, 1. Alright. Copiate will have to get his revenge next season, I guess. In the meanwhile, this was before Left Hook had completed his full suite of banners, so we only see 5 banners for Left Hook. And Rohinjo, the Lion-R specialist. So turn 1 Golem Metallurgist is basically what you always want to have with these Golem decks. Because it turns out there's some really strong Golems. Funny thing is, Rohinjo is going to be doing the same thing, and oh, I forgot to mention, he's spellless, so note that Titan is going to be another theme here. Let's see if Magmar can deal with it any better. Razor Crag Golem is a funny one. And some excellent ramping here. Usually with Razor Crag Golem, you have some ways to protect it or to get some action out of it right away. We'll see. I guess giving it a force field is good protection. Cheap Lava Slasher coming in though. Somehow this is classified as a Golem. So generally with Sworn Avengers early, you want to drop it, slash with your general. There's not really any great targets for that. Are you going to forfeit the mana tile just to scratch a Metallurgist to pump it up? That doesn't sound great. Vanquisher isn't doing anything. Archer was doing even less and gets replaced. can't really block the mana tiles. Could block one of them by taking a step to the left and then dropping something diagonally down left, which is better than blocking none of them. Soul Pontiff and Golem Vanquisher seem like decent options here. Could also drop something on a mana tile to get spicy with the Razorcrag Golem. I don't see any placement that makes that good though. So I think the play here is Golem Vanquisher plus one of these two. And it's probably going to be the Soul Pontiff because it's not made of glass. It's got one extra hit point. Vanquisher in the back, something in the front. Okay, it's all backlined. Which gives Voth the option to take 2 steps down and grab the thing, but this is a pretty nice looking golem wall. But if everything has provoke, nothing has provoke, sort of. You can pick your targets. Drogon is pretty great with the claws, because you get so much attack damage out of nowhere. One hell of a 9 mana turn. But this is the sort of thing you set up over 2 turns. Ragebinder's useful to just have. Okay. Just to power up and slap. Saves all these resources. Could potentially nat select this Vanquisher. Is that even good? Or is Ragebinder better? Yeah, Ragebinder is good. Hands off some healing, doesn't die to much. I'm just looking through Rohinjo's list to see what sort of things he's got the combo with this Razorcrag Golem. I suppose you can give it a slight buff with Feralu, but it seems like it's mostly just here for the Boulder Breaching or the Alabaster Tightening. He's not able to roar the Celebrant. Might roar the Vanquisher? That'll put it on cooldown for next turn though. But that would make it trade with the Lava Slasher. Left hook needs to grab this mana tile, so Rohinjo can't just get Titan next turn. And then after that, it's not a Drogon turn. Claws? Oh, this is something you can ping with the Blood Tier now. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling it's time for these. And then the next turn is the Drogon Doubler. And when you don't have any minions, that's when Titan falls off. Check this out, we got Bond with 2 colons, and one of the sets of colons is not bold. It like trails off. But playing both of these golems seems like the only way to do... is there a better replace than either of these? He's actually dead next turn, just to the double damage slash. So he's gonna have to put 2 units to wall, and then the wall can get cleared by this. Because Razor Crag is made of glass and gets shattered by the Ragebinder. The +1 actually bumps it beyond lethal range, come to think, so that's... It's not dead yet. Natural Select doesn't function with... Actually, yeah, hold up. Let me just Nat Select this. Not gonna have the mana to BBS and Drogon though. Rebuke is the way to clear all that. Voth is so huge! How do you stop this hugeness? The Sworn Avenger, 1,000 years too late. Boulder Breacher needs a board. I guess it's just a raw Titan then, which Voth can just step around. GG! Yeah, I would have thought that this kind of minion package would be pretty solid. I've seen Mech Titan, I've seen a bit of Golem Titan, but if you don't have minions and you can't keep them, oof, Magmar's removal is just too real. And Voth just hits too hard. Well, there's that. Kaboom! And with a left hook to the face, Rohinjo loses the first game. Let's take another quick look at these decks. Left hook currently up 1-0. Only needs one other one. Wonder if he's actually running those Mortar Maws and Armadas. Gives him a lot of ranged option, but we are going into game number 2. Get ready for this, coming to you. Left hook versus Rohinjo the second. Left hook gets his Metallurgist turn 1 again. Rohinjo doesn't find it turn 1. Instead, he finds his Peacekeeper. Choosing to replace one of his Lava Slashers, kind of interesting, because these seem really great, and they could have been cast turn over turn. Instead finds this removal piece. Turn 1 up, finally finds, or gets the Metallurgist. So there's some options here. Yeah, this plus the Warblade. This plus the Pontiff. Yeah, I go for the more expensive one. Yeah, this is a much better startup than putting a archer in the back row and just running in. And these archers get pretty crazy with the Titan buff. But we see Lava Slasher is just a buster every time. Doesn't have 3 Mechanters, but does have 3 Lava Slashers. One of our gun lizards making an appearance. We'll see if that ever hits the battlefield. Rohinjo has some Lava Slasher size problems to deal with. Losing your mana discount guy seems to be the way to clear it, but Maybe the higher priority target is a Metallurgist? Okay, he's probably going to kill a Lava Slasher, so Voth can't get all this mana. Because Left Hook would love to ramp to 6. So it seems like a good turn for Sworn Avenger after all. Maybe take 2 steps down to threaten the mana tile. Okay, just going right in there. Has a lot of leftover mana that he can't use. Kind of unfortunate. This is some awkward Drogon timing, because he can't immediately BBS. And these pingers and this rebuke don't do a lot. Might need to full retreat with his Metallurgist 2 steps to the left, so it doesn't die to Archeon. Okay, 4 damage to the face instead of 4 damage to this minion. Left Hook going for the win instead of the full clear. And Golem Metallurgist is no coward, preventing Archeon from taking the 2 steps up. Time for Spelljammer? Get some jam on this spell. And he's got the anti-Mecanter formation, even though there's only 5 mana and no Flash Reincarnation in the deck. Does play around other sources of Frenzy though, like the Iridium Scale, the artifact that could be put on him. Maybe a little bit of a misplay to use his BBS last turn, because if it was done this turn, this would have been a little bit more damage. Enemies can't counterattack. Boulder Breacher is just on time. Something's going to have to get replaced though, because with this deck you need to keep fishing for Titan. It's just too good. Interestingly enough, does not go for the Boulder Breacher, just drops the 7/7. I would have thought that clearing the Drogon would have been the top priority. Put it to 1? Am I missing something? What? Right, units can move an extra step, but this is still gonna hand off a lot of extra damage. Okay, I would have done a different play there. Oof. Rebuke, so strong of a removal. Rohinja found another Stormblade. He could drop it and hope that his opponent doesn't have a rebuke, but if he goes for that gamble, it's the game. So the actual play is units need to be dropped that don't die to rebuke, and they need to not be roared. He's playing as if Left Hook just does not have rebuke or natural select or the like. This would be a really good position for him otherwise, but we're basically seeing the GG getting thrown out. Instant crush, instant kill. Kaboom! And with that, Left Hook seals the series 2-0 and advances to the next round. Congrats. Powerful stuff. Absolute stomp. What a guy. Let him go. Okay, we got something special coming up next. It's me! Check it out! I'm running Cassie Creep. The reason I'm running Cassie is I wanted to run the third Abyssea in general, because last time I ran Maeve, and the first time I ran Lilith. So I might as well just round it out. And today's gimmick, it's not just a Crete package, but we've got Astral Crusader, and we've got ways to copy it with Mirim. So I'm hopefully going to be getting a lot of those, getting some Abyssal Nobles, some really cool stuff here. The one Spectral Revenant for some top end, one EMP just in case. I'm facing a Riva Wanderer, which is maybe the deadliest variant of Wanderer, because you get 2/2 ranged minions. Pretty nasty stuff, all kinds of tech here. We got the one spiral technique to watch out for. So if I'm ever at 8, I could just be dead. And we got the Dragon Aura for gigantic removal. We'll see if that ever comes up. We actually don't have tag on the Citron Dragon in this list. I think that was what Kitikaka was running. But we do have a Scroll Bandit. So funny thing is, Scroll Bandit has an extra point of backstab on custom games, but not on the ladder. Specifically because Helgen didn't want to rebalance players' decks as they were playing them in the tournament, because that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, check it out. It is me versus Cypher 19. Game number 1, just for fun. Oh, I've got the luckiest opening hand to have a Astral Crusader in it. Real nice. And then my card draw here will just help me find it. The replacers are basically just to get me towards these Crusaders faster. I should be running Inquisitor Kron with these Aether Masters, come to think. Too late to change that now. Deck's been locked in. Agent Cypher 19 has Death Strike Seal and a Panda, so that is a board clear on a stick. And can even bust it out of nowhere with this Assassination Protocol. So really strong combo pieces for anti-minion clear. Death Strike Steel is pretty good against Astral Crusader because it becomes huge. Usually it's a 4-mana 9/8, or yeah, it's pretty solid. Oh, I don't have any response to the smoochy face? I must have missed it. Love seeing Ooze turn 1. Ooze in the middle, I guess. It's been so long, I forget what the plays even were. Another line of play is I could have dropped the Ooze and then Sphere of Darkness, or Sphere of Darkness first. But Ooze in the middle seems fun. It protects my Aether Master from getting shanked. Rokadoptara. Might be a good play. Ooze puts some pressure on him right away because it likes spawning creep directly under enemies. Doesn't want to sacrifice a panda to my 2-mana pet. Yeah, just gonna slash it. And I get a lucky roll here. Because now if this Azure Herald moves, it's going to spawn spikes there as well. Pretty decent. This blocks my mana tile. Like, I could take a diagonal step, but ending your tile on creep, you generally don't want to do that. Rockodoptera! The captioner does not know what to do with Rockodoptera! It has no idea what that word even is. It just doesn't even try. Abyssal Noble has a couple targets to summon on now. Maybe that's a good play. Replace and found a second Noble. Well, that wasn't a great play. I Sphere of Darkness my mana away. Now I can't Abyssal Noble. I guess I was hoping for some kind of good draw. This does at least full clear the board, but it doesn't matter a lot against Riva. She doesn't have a lot of buffs. So just another Aether Master gonna fish for my big boom booms. There is a strong play here. You could do Diagonal Step, drop a Panda, Assassination Protocol Panda, and then ping to finish off the Aether Master. That would be a full clear against me, giving him 2 minions. Given what he's got, it's probably the best thing. It disarms his explosive combo he's got here, his board clear. Maybe he fades with an Arcane Heart instead. Gets cozy on a creep tile. Okay, it is Panda time. Probably gonna want to replace his Deathstrike Seal then. Might wait a turn before doing that to see if I drop any minions though. My hand's kind of stale, not much variety going on. If I were me, I would use the lure and then... No, that's not enough. Okay, yeah, killing the ranged unit's way better. And this Abyssal Noble is fantastic because it immediately calls for hard removal. You basically have to run up here and give it the pony. Which is great because I got another one right behind it. Saving the Sunset Paragon for the Astral Crusaders whenever those show up. And I've got my one Obliterate. Just gonna swap that out. More Nobles, I think, is the name of the game. This Panda could be fed a Deathstrike Seal to clear it, but it is so far away, it's not going to hit. So as a Wanderer player, you generally don't want to be dropping your Wanderer until you've got some stuff out to benefit from it. Even just waiting a turn and then doing the Wanderer and then doing a 2-2 ranged might be okay. Gonna have to burn the pony now though, unless he wants demons every turn. Because this thing just summons 6 cost things. 6 mana, 6/6s, which are all really strong. Well, just drops the Wanderer as the biggest dude. My hand quality is kind of weak, but my board, I love it. I only need this one thing. Maybe Aethermaster to fish. Oh, what do we got? You got Abyssal Tormentor. Your Shadow Creep deals damage as if it was Duelist 2. So Agent Cypher is going to be really sad to be standing on Creep now. Let's just put that over there. Don't want him easily clearing this right away. Because otherwise both the minion and the general would just hit it and kill it. Or more realistically, this pony would clear everything. I definitely didn't play around it, because Sunset Paragon is going to be able to smoke 2 of my units now. And then the full retreat because he's so low on life. I'm pretty happy with that because I can just spam demons all day. Like, you don't have infinite Sunset Paragons, but I have infinite demons. Also, I'm running a Riftwalker deck. Ooh, Sphere of Darkness. That's so good. Let's just put a Sphere of Darkness on the Heartseeker and then kill it. Constantly putting Agent Cypher on the back foot here. Here's a nice 4/4 Fiend for good measure. I now remember why I have Aethermasters and Mirror Rims in this deck. Some necessary hard removal, although he only gets 1. Single copy. Downside of running Wanderer is you don't get a full set of your best removal. Gotta kill this Moonrider, because it's just spitting out 4/4s every turn. Fizzling Mystic's a good finisher there. He's been holding on to this Deathstrike seal all game. I guess wants to use the 1/1 ranged Heartseekers to snipe some big boys. Fortunately, Riftwalker is really good against Heartseekers. In fact, I have 2 of them. I can just drop. I also have 9 mana and the Desolator, so you can go Desolator, ping your own Desolator, and then immediately cast it again. And that is a really good inevitability. I'm using this Panda that was gifted to me to serve as a blocker, and yeah, that's it. Oh, it's gotta be a Riftwalker, right? Maybe not. You usually don't want to have your Desolator just hanging out because it could get dispelled. So yeah, I opt for the Riftwalker in the face. Repulsor Beast finding value. Probably gonna cast Gotatsu on my Panda. Otherwise I can summon stuff down here. we got? So Riftwalker's intensity, it's at 2. So now it just starts clearing these Heartseekers as it comes down. I have some problems with dudes right in my face, though. Oh, it's an Obliterate. My power's at 7. Their health is at 7. Abracadabra, I win. Oh, creep decks, everybody. Yeah. Wait, we're not looking at that match. Yeah. Let's have another one. Agent Cypher 19. Absolute buster of these tournaments, but maybe I can take him down now. I'm up 1 point. Heyo, I've got the perfect hand again, which is to say I just have an Astral Crusader and I don't care what the rest is. I can pitch this guy back. We never even saw this one last game. So I opt to get my Creep Factory instead of my Replacing first, and I'm lucky that it doesn't immediately eat my Mana Tile. And a Creep right in the center tile, that is a really nice place to have a Creep Tile. Check it out, Scroll Bandit has Backstab 1. Careful though, if you put this thing in your ladder deck, it's going to be Backstab 0. BTA, pretty good answer. And threatens to capture every single mana tile next turn. This is a way stronger start from him. Although I've got Ooze, so I'm not worried. Probably just Ooze the center tile, kill the top guy. I could even drop an Aether Master after that. Okay. Killing the Scroll Bandit makes a lot more sense. And another Ooze. Agent Cypher has no problem with the Creep Tile. Wants that mana. But for what? Impervious G? Oh, well, there it is. Giago is here to provoke me with 10 hit points. And he's not a good thing to attack, because he just keeps on hitting harder back. Usually, ping punish is how you want to deal with that. So I'll just replace and find punish. Easy every time. Woo! Let's just eat that mana. I can't make use of it. Oh, I can. Abyssal Scar at the top. And an Ooze. So the pressure is on again. Key Beholder is a funny way to stop an Ooze. Yeah, Ooze can't move this turn. And then it's just gonna one-shot it. I'd like to find a Mirror Rim, because then I can go Riftwalker and copy it. Maybe replacing one of these Aether Masters. Well, I like to see Nobles too. This would take all the attention out of Agent Cypher's next turn. Let's protect Ooze. Yeah. Agent Cypher finally has mana for Wanderer. Could also Killing Edge this thing to hit for 5, which is way overkill. but also kills me in like 4 turns. Another option is Agent Cypher could use Maw to chunk down Ooze and then finish it off, but not opting for that. Yeah, Wanderer. Your whole team has +1/+1. It's your destiny. So this is a version of the deck that is really light on the creep themes. It only has a single Obliterate. It worked last time. But I don't have any of the Shadow Novas or the like in this variant. Well, looks like I got a pretty good turn here. Oh, it's the guy. Astral Crusader has shown up. Pony deals with it. Panda Transformation deals with it. And like something crazy like a Hasted Battle Panda with Death Touch deals with it. But the list isn't really long. These are just efficient beaters. In fact, there's just nothing. This Crusader's just gonna come in for the win at this rate. Probably wants to fade away and use the Azure Herald to block. Use the Gotatsu to cycle. Maybe get a ranged baby out. Oh, replaces and finds the pony. How does he do it? This turn got a lot easier. Crusader slashing itself. And there's a spiral technique in hand. So my hit point total is actually at 4. I guess I do 2 steps down and summon a demon up, or I do like a full runaway and just munch the pony. I can draw some cards. It's not bad. A lot of munches, that's actually pretty nice. My munches hit for 7. Spelljammer's a nice blocker. It doesn't just get one shot by the pony. Juxtaposition is a really good spell, though. It breaks all the rules, and uh-oh, I'm at 8. Good game. Go next. Ugh. Skillful Replace. Finding just the thing to take out my 9/8. Really strong stuff. So this is when I had kind of head to the lab and bust out the other version of the deck, because the other version is like straight up creep. We have stuff here like Ghost of Azaleas, 2 Obliterates, 3 Shadow Novas. I shove all that in, and what gets cut? I decided to cut all the Astral Crusaders, all the Mirror Imps, all the Aether Masters, even the Riftwalkers. So now it's like a straight up creep deck. Because my reasoning behind that was I won the first game off creep and Obliterate. So I'm going to lean into that. Right off the bat, we're seeing stuff like Juggernaut. And my entire hand is 4. How did it come to this? You only want this kind of hand when you've got 8 mana. So probably tossing the Azalea, tossing Desolator, yeah. Azalea comes back. That's not good. Oh, and I don't find a News. I missed my old deck already. Oh, there's Ooze. And we are 1-1. This is the decider. Whoever takes this one is advancing to the round of 8. Thunderhorn making an appearance. Interesting. Just a good minion, I guess. Gonna be putting a archer up here. Yeah. You usually do this kind of fade when you suspect your opponent has a lot of pings, so they don't just kill your 3 toughness creature. Because otherwise you would just take 2 steps forward and do that placement. Threaten 2 mana tiles. And here's Abyss Crawler. All my early game stuff showing up a little late. But I should have a good next turn. And Agent Cypher can actually just stand on these spikes to power up his archer. There's a 50-50 for Ooze to put more spikes under him. Unless something weird happens, like a Lightbender. Not likely. So one way to abuse Battle Pits is Thunderhorn. But deciding to not do that just puts Thunderhorn in my face. Juggernaut's pretty tiny. Draw 2 doesn't function unless I take a mana tile and drop a crawler. I'm pretty concerned about this Thunderhorn though. Only have 2 spikes, so I can munch it for 2. Munching it for 2 and hitting it for 2 is a pretty miserable turn though. Ghost Azale is actually not bad. I could just equip it and kill it. And even... No, I couldn't drop an Abyss Crawler on a mana tile doing that though, because Thunderhorn would kill it. So maybe it's the artifacts? Juggernaut is too tiny. Well, it'll be a 5-5. It could be a 6-6 if I also Abyss Crawler. Maybe I'm considering that. Shadow Nova doesn't do much now. I guess I'm munching it. And no replaces. I probably should have replaced the Spelljammer if anything. Might be time for Red Steel Minos here. Agent Cypher is probably going to be holding on to this Dex Strike Steel because he doesn't know that I've swapped out a lot of my bombs. And it's still going to be useful against something like a gigantic Juggernaut. So Shadow Nova is kind of appealing now, because it'll take care of this Mana Spring. It's kind of a weak turn though. I could double that up with a Demonic Lure though. And then I'll have a lot of creep tiles to make this artifact and this minion really strong. I'm still holding on to the Spelljammer. Concerned about cards, or maybe I noticed that Agent Cypher's got 6 cards. Probably can't spend 2 per turn. But yeah, I go for the double spell combo. Does the most work. And is Red Steel Minos really going to take 2 steps down onto spikes to fight me? Probably. This Keshrai Fanblade is actually a really hard counter to what I'm doing. Or at least it's going to stop my Obliterates from functioning. So this is the perfect minion to cast on 7 mana against me. Especially now that I've got 2 Obliterates in this deck. Ooh. Oh no, I replaced an Azala and found an Azala? Stale hand. Wanderer players never have this problem. So I'm calculating lethal in 2 turns. From the looks of it. I just equipped Go Face. Figured a 9 damage sting would be enough. Because now I can just fall back and let loose and obliterate at some point to win. Or hopefully find a whip to relocate any blockers. I'm gonna need to find my munches again though. Well, Desolator does some work and keep me alive, but I don't have 2 plays out of my hand. It's the worst. This was about the point of the time where I realized that my previous build was actually a lot stronger, because the Astral Crusaders would just be gigantic pieces to deal with that don't even get solved cleanly by an EMP. But I wasn't considering the lack of removal, so I'm gonna have to make this work. So it is time to fall back. This Desolator should buy me a turn. And if I can get to 8 mana, then Agent Cypher is dead. Although we've got the Fan Blade to shut off that, if that were to happen. And Assassination or Inner Focus for the final 2. An Agent Sniper! Agent Cypher with the Sniper has defeated me. I'm knocked out of my own tournament again. What a disaster. Well played though. GG. See you in the top 8. Back to the drawing board for me though. So I kind of learned about when to swap your deck and when to not swap your deck. It's got to learn about the matchup, and it was only after the game that Agent Cypher pinged me being like, "Oh, I was so afraid of those Astral Crusaders." And I'm like, "Whoops, I took them out in the 3rd game." Well, let's go on to our final series of the night. We've got Stoic Rooster advancing, we have Left Hook advancing, we have Agent Cypher 19 advancing, but who else is advancing between Overpowered and Snowy Onion? Overpowered also on the Wanderer strat, so we'll see quite a variety of stuff come out. Versus Snowy Onion going for the opposite. We have 3x of almost everything and 2x of a couple other things. There's going to be some explosive stuff between Greater Fortitude, Wild Inceptor, and Ragnora's BBS Ripper. We got Golems for some cheap Lava Slashers. There's actually Flash Reincarnations in both of these players' decks. We didn't see that before with Left Hook. Yeah, it is time for an egg off. Get ready for eggs. Going in 3, 2, 1. The Overpowering Overpowered versus Snowy Onion. Also known as Frozen Mangoes on the Discord these days, since Mango took the first championship. Don't like seeing a Juggernaut in your opening hand, but maybe you do like seeing it with a Flash Reincarnation, because that is a really good 2-piece combo. Thumping Wave is some really funny dual-purpose spell. It's removal and a damage bump. Combos with Thunderhorn. Wait a second. There's no Thunderhorn in this list. No Thunderhorn for the left side? Okay. Well, I would have expected that with the Thumping Wave in there. You can kind of do an imitation of Vanar. Turn 1 Silithar. These things are great, except when you're trying to remove stuff with natural selection, then they get in the way. Opts to not replace a Juggernaut, but then Snowy finds the second Juggernaut. And the second Flash Reincarnation? Maybe there's a strategy here. As soon as Snowy hits 6 mana, things are going crazy. We're gonna be seeing like Mechazords pop out of this thing. Overpowered's got his Wanderer Jalopy. Could just take both mana, put a Jaxi on this front tile, put an Archer back here. Could also Jaxi and then Silence. Turn off this egg. Good use of Shroud. Although the egg could still hatch if it was told to. It's just not going to hatch on its own anymore. Ooh, maybe you should stop pulsating or animating when it gets silenced. That might be a cool change. Snowy is tossed away one of the Flash Reincarnations. Does have the ability to Mecanter. It could just be time. It would even survive. But it would die to Jaxi form 2. Ragebinder is only decent without another Golem. Jeez, this is a pretty aggressive turn 2 from Overpowered. Just really living up to his name. Takes the mana just to destroy it. That's fair. And then Ragebinder in the back. Ooh, this could be a Kron turn for OP. Take a couple steps down, start the factory up. Goes really well once the Wanderer hits. Other option is you try to defend this mana tile and then Wander next turn, but that's a lot sketchier. Yeah. There's a lot of good plays here. Okay, Jaxi making an omelet. And it's Kron time. What do we get? Is it the broken one? The ranged guy is really strong too. Oh, it's the frenzy guy again. Can't believe this thing used to spit out force field units. How busted. That force field sprite should be repurposed. It should turn into a thing. It even had a name, right? People would always call it like Bob or something, or Tim, or they gave it like some kind of silly name. I forget. Snowy Onion is one turn away from showtime, in more ways than one. Probably wants to use Lava Slasher to eat the Kron. It's going to take a beating in the meanwhile, but it's better than leaving Kron on the table. Like, that's just the play, right? Lava Slasher. What else could even happen? Like, next turn and the turns following are going to be so good. You can just chill. maybe concerned about what to do with this Ragebinder and where Jaxi will go, and I don't know. Kron seems like the MVP here. Not even opting to pump up Jaxi. Probably concerned about a greater fortitude possibility, because a 3-3 ranged unit would be a big problem. Be able to kill Lava Slasher for free, for instance. But greater fortitude is pretty decent on units with keywords, so he could build a Mechantor Warbeast out of this prisoner here. Better play is probably a Latigris, or even a Red Steel Minos with an egg. Although, he is going to have to start doing Mechantor positioning now that Snowy's at 6. Which usually means you have all your units on a diagonal. And for those of you just joining, this is game 1 of the 4th match. So this is the last series that we'll be casting. And start of the best of 3. Snowy and OP. And then I'm going to be updating the bracket afterwards to determine who all is in the round of 8. So you'll want to bounce from the stream if you don't want to be spoiled on those results. But that's 3 games from now, or 2 games from now. So, overpowered. Very unlucky Cub spawn. Can't do much with it. At least Jaxi's here to finish the job. And if he's lucky, the range unit will be on the left side. No such luck though. This thing's just gonna get smashed by a Ragebinder. Okay, we actually have much better much better stuff going on. It's almost too bad that the second Flash Reincarnation and Juggernaut were both pitched, because 2 turns of a Flash Juggernaut in a row seems kind of funny. Even just doing it once seems really good. There is a lot of consideration though for getting the Warbeast, as always. Let's see the Jug. Jug, Jug, Jug. My Juggernaut didn't do any work today, but maybe this one will. Warbeast! Yeah. Clearing a bunch of stuff, so Juggernaut is not going to be as contested. Should be able to actually grow. One thing about grow minions is they're not great when they're surrounded by a ton of dudes before they can get their growing off, and there's no guarantee that the tokens that come out of this thing are going to be any good. You could get trash pets or 1/1s or something. Or this only summons golem eggs. So it could be a 25/25, it could be a 1/4. Wanderer and Latigris is pretty filthy because this starts pumping out 3/2 cats. And there's one now. Good way to finish off a Mechantor. 3 more range damage to the face. It's almost too late to do the Juggernaut stuff, but maybe it's not. Might want to replace to see if another Mechantor can be found. Problem with the Golem eggs is Latigr's just shoots them down instantly, so if they're threatening, they get blasted. Replaces and finds another Juggernaut, which is eventually going to be useful. Next 2 turns in a row could just be Jugs. Boom, here it is. We have a 5/5 egg, and we've got a 4... What is this, 4/6? No, this thing's bigger than that. And has the mana left over for the Lava Lance for Le Tigres. So now, Overpowered's got Blistering Scorn here to just deal with all these eggs in one shot. Not the greatest though, because Silithar dies to it. Mage Sworn is a bit too late. Wow. Just noticed now that Snowy Onion drew another Flash Reincarnation, so despite not needing to flash out the Juggernaut anymore, probably going to do that anyway to spit out some eggs. Okay, so... What? Yeah, it looks like we're, Snowy's gonna... Or Overpowered's gonna clear Snowy's Juggernaut with face damage plus this Wanderer. And then clear up all these eggs with the Scorn. Which seems a pretty good way to deal with it. Because it's gonna spit another 3 eggs out. Here's a 10-3. Oh, here's a 2-2. And a 2-4. Hit him with the Disappearing Act. And then left over for an egg. Moves his egg up just to be a blocker. Despite having an attack power, the egg can't attack. Maybe that's because the egg is exhausted. Here comes Juggernaut number 2! Although... Yeah... Maybe it's placed to the right as a way to protect the eggs. Because if you can get 1 turn of growth with Juggernaut, it's really quite nice. Especially if you can get it to hit anything else. Oh, it doesn't flash it. Probably valuing the card in hand more and doesn't want to go to 0. Because now this can be replaced. Zoetic Charm, absolutely fantastic with Jug. Overpowered does not have any more Scorn, so that does it for free egg clears. Gonna have to find something like a Disenchant, like a Dispel. Or you can ignore it. Just go straight for the General. That seems like the better idea. 9 damage. Bam. Could even be 10 damage with the Alchemist and 12 damage with the Mystic. Put Snowy to 1. Instead, opts to put down the Battle Pig. And yeah, that is just too much. No way to that. GG! First game goes to OP. Snowy's Juggernauts did not quite get there. Alright. Game number 2 starting now. Check out these guys. Oh, that's not the replay button. Okay, we are here with the final series of the night, and best of 3, Snowy Onion is down 1. Let's see if Snowy can take it back here. Going first, they swapped positions. Drawing multiple rock pulverizers. Doesn't want them, despite them being a decent early game unit. I guess valuing them more as a cheap unit to do in big plays later. Murky's a pretty nice unit to have. It'll be a really high priority target, so if it gets put in the middle, it'll definitely just get ganged. Greater Fortitude could be used right away. Probably don't want to do that. Cryptographer Egg, same play as last game. It could even be Celebrant Cryptographer Egg. Get really fancy. Probably wants to keep Greater Fortitude. It would be ideal to throw this on a Ripper and do 10 damage out of nowhere. So some options. Probably gonna replace this EMP when possible. Yeah, Celebrant Crypto Egg. Let's go. Doesn't matter if this crypto gets destroyed immediately because it's already done its work. So Snowy's got a couple possibilities. Blood Tearing the Egg seems like a really good maneuver. But so does Bloodbound Mentor, getting both of these mana. Progenitor is a funny one, doubles your board. Seems pretty good, and Bloodbound Mentor is really good with Rag. You just get all these eggs. There's this funny green outline on this mana tile. See, I hadn't noticed before. I guess indicating that a mana was taken with the tile last turn. The Ripper is here! Fortunately for Overpowered, Snowy can't immediately buff it. Yeah. Wants to wait another 2 turns. A really good turn is you get your Zoetic Charm down, then you get Progenitor down, and your eggs can't be dealt with. Probably gonna want the Silithar down first though, maybe a couple more Rippers? That doesn't hurt. Okay, just gonna immediately Progenitor. Yeah, having 2 Mentors or an extra Ripper is good enough. Valuing it more as a minion than an egg, plus damage. Doesn't want to give Overpowered any easy turns. And 1 BTA can clear one of these eggs, but another Ripper is coming. Okay, Overpowered just gonna deal with the Ripper in his face, deal with the backline later. Now Snowy Onion has a turn with 2 Bloodbound Mentors, and BBS is up. Doesn't actually have the slots for all the free cards that are going to be handed though. So I'm gonna have to cast something. Probably an egg to the top, egg to the left. And maybe cast Zoetic Charm? Doesn't do a whole lot, but the eggs could actually be used defensively. And there's going to be a lot. Ooh. Yeah, for instance, this could turn to a force fielded egg. Okay, instead opting to just kill this Dancing Blades. Still has leftover for another one, plus Zoetic though. And this board is looking hella fierce. And overpowered is the mana off casting EMP. Uh-oh. That EMP is needed now. Even Mechantor seems too small in this situation. Natural Selection doesn't function. Bone Reaper's okay, but there is so much attack power coming in that it's going to get annihilated. And it can't cut through the force fields. It could just be a sacrificial Wanderer. You move into the corner, drop a Wanderer, it's going to die. But how do you not die to all these Rippers? And 5 from this thing. Bone Reaper will kill the Progenitor. So that's a good play. Just taking the one step right instead of going entirely into the corner. So many Rippers! And another... This Progenitor... There's gonna be so many. Can even double up on these, or quadruple on the Mentors. And make another Silithar too. You just need to make sure that there isn't a unit standing behind one of your other units, otherwise it blocks the egg spawn. Like this. Oh no. Okay, well I guess it's not coming down then. Yeah, we don't need more eggs. Turns out this is plenty. So, is it too late for EMP? Turns off the artifact, all these keywords. These eggs don't hatch. But then you die to damage. Surely Mechantor Warbeast can get Magmar out of this situation. Although definitely not. Because the Zoetic needs 2 hits to break. So do all these eggs. And there is so much damage and room for 1 minion. Ping! What does this even ping? Oh, it pinged a force field away from the shield. That's it. Snowy Youngin taking it back. Tied the series up. Strong stuff. Well played. Let's see who takes our final game of the day. Going into game number 3. Yes, we are here indeed. Snow Youngin left side once again versus Overpowered. What, are we going to see the Rock Pulverizer pitched again? Well, it's the only 2-drop minion. It has to be kept. I guess the replaces turn into Zoetic, and that's it. Keep the rest. Maybe replace Mechantor because it's too expensive. And then Overpowered's got some middling stuff. These Mage Sworns haven't been able to do much yet. Nat Select is really good starting. The fizzling isn't. Probably swaps that. Maybe the healer too, or the dispel. Nope, keeps it all. So the old take 2 steps forward, drop a 2-drop in the middle, and not select the enemy doesn't work against Silithar. That opening kills a lot of kinds of starts, but not this one. So instead, fading to the top, drop in Murky. Oh, Elucidator could run out of a Murky too. Be a 6/5. Pretty strong board so far from Snowy. Overpowered's got his work cut out for him to get through all of this. Natural selection just does not do it. Hey, it's a Saurian finality. Maybe that'll come up. Silencing or killing this owl seems like what you want to be doing here. You could do 2 steps to the left, drop the shroud, turns off the keyword, or the text. Elucidator's probably a little too hardcore for just killing the 1 minion, but that's another option. This Murky is in danger. How does it find value but get to safety? There we go. Yeah. This takes out the Bloodbound in the back. Placing the Elucidator here. Nice row of minions. Interesting choice to slash the Silithar, because I'm pretty sure that's just going to crash into the Elucidator regardless. And then Snowy can even shield that egg. Or make use of the egg to blast Murky. Putting the egg here to jail Ragnora. Overpowered won't be able to escape. Yeah, and Zoetic and a Lance. Strong stuff from Snowy. Overpowered's been in recovery mode this whole time. Maybe it's time to replace this fantastic best spell because it's too expensive. Doesn't have any way to hit 3 times, so the Zoetic is here to stay. Blood Tier Alchemist would be really good right now. Because of Fizzling Mystic and then that, and then a hit. As is, the Egg Morphs don't even do anything because they'll just be shielded. Nat, select your BBS token unit, I guess. That does play around it getting a +2/+2 and then just winning the game on the spot. So kind of necessary. And then I guess the other egg could be silenced? Or this Silithar could be silenced. Probably the egg. Yeah. And then your own egg. Way back here. That should hatch. Snowy has a pretty lame turn right now and a really good 6th turn, or next 2 turns. Rock Pulverizer is surely not good enough to just play, because that would be your whole turn. Ooh, Progenitor. Usually this is really nice, but you need to have a board for it to do anything. So as is, it just makes 1 extra unit, which is better than making no units, so might as well just drop it. And then what to do afterwards is kind of not clear, because it's not so great to slash the Shroud and lose your artifact pip. It's not great to have your Silithar turn to an egg. But maybe it being egged is fine. Okay. Much more forward placement with these eggs. Opting to keep the Silithar alive. Because it would be cleared pretty easily by the Ripper. Wandering Rippers are pretty decent, because then the Progenitor dies to it. So maybe it's a Wanderer turn. Overpowered is just hanging on to the Saurian finality. Looking to close the game out with it in 2 more turns, or at least have a gigantic comeback. This does a lot of stuff. Just a shame it costs so much. Mystic doesn't do much. Kron's kind of sketchy, and this is going to get cleared for sure. And then he can have an egg below him for the most safety, I guess. Yeah. Or charge in? Crack the egg. That seems pretty good. Leaves him with an extra unit. It's Mercantor time! Mercantor War Beast! There's almost no playing around this thing. Ugh, and this Saurian Finality is a mana too expensive for Overpowered's needs. Fizzling Mystic at least looks good now with this War Beast half dead. Eek, 6 health, War Beast in the face, even a Progenitor. Bloodseer only hits for 1. It's like Kron needs to spit out a specific unit for this to be a win, in a specific place. Maybe the Frenzy dude needs to show up right where Overpowered is now to clear both these minions. That seems pretty good, but that is so unlikely. There's gotta be some other more consistent out. It would be like a 1 in 3 the unit spawns in the right spot, and then like a 1 in 5 it's the unit that no, it would have to be the haste guy to even act first. The frenzy guy doesn't do it. So Kron himself gets replaced. We see an even more expensive card. Whoops. Well, this will be useful in 2 turns, but how do you survive 1? The Bloodseer Alchemist here can do a decent wall, along with the egg. Cannot cast Krygon after Sword Finality though, because this deletes 3 mana. Overpowered, finding a way to stay in the game. But Snowy has a Mechanta Warbeast. Here's a demonstration of its power. And with that, Snowy Onion has defeated Overpowered 2-1. Advances to the round of 8. Congratulations. Well played, well played. And that is all the games that we had for today. Thanks everybody for coming in to watch. Let's update the bracket. So we had Stoic win 2 games over Colpiet. What a monster. Left Hook. Really strong Voth performance here. 2-0 win. Here's me. Here's 1 point. Alas, it was not 2 points. Agent Cypher's moving on. And Snowy Onion defeating Overpowered 2-1. Okay, our next round matches are Stoic Rooster versus Juiceboxy, Poncho Mango versus Kitikaka, Left Hook versus Magmarbot, and Agent Cypher 19 versus Snowy Onion. Y'all are finally set to play your games whenever. I will post the bracket info and the bracket with like the general portraits and prettiness into the channel in a couple hours, as well as the list of matches and such. We got some good stuff coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be giving the players more than just 7 days for this round. Maybe more like 10 days or 12 days. Just because it was kind of a stall to get to this point. But yeah, we managed to get through all these. Good stuff. And thanks for the commentary in the chat too. It helped me provide even better commentary. Well, this has been fun. There's only one thing to do now. Bye.